Hi, everybody. Happy Thursday. I hope you're having a great day. I've been doing some crafting in my studio today, and since we aren't able to have many live face-to-face craft events this month or next month, I thought I would share some of the things that I'm working on. Now today, I have a great idea using the Timeless Tulips Stamp Set and the coordinating punch that goes with it. This is just a great set to have for the spring. And I'm making some little handled boxes that are great for little goodies. You can fit a little card in there for Starbucks or whatever you like. Plenty of space for candy, of course, since we're getting to the Easter season. So I hope everybody's doing well and making the best of what they have. And now you can join me and we will go ahead and make these cute little boxes together. All right. These are the boxes that I've been working on and making with the Timeless Tulips set, and I just love them. And I got the idea from Angie at Stampin' with Amore. She really had the idea for the box, and then I did a little bit of different thing to decorate it in the front. So very simple and to put together, and especially when you have your designer series paper with the tulips on that you can just punch those images out, makes it extra easy. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Please comment as you roll in and let me know where you are and where you're watching from. And if you missed the beginning of the video, don't worry. I'm going to put it right on my YouTube channel and you can watch it as many times as you need to. But this is a quick and easy box to make, and I think once you learn it, you will really enjoy it. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'll take these off here for now. If you remember last time I was on, we made these cute little spring baskets, and that video is on my YouTube channel. If you search on YouTube at the Wexford Stamper, you should be able to find the video on how to make these cute, quick, simple little spring baskets. Perfect for the season. All right, so let's get back to our boxes. All right, I'm going to go ahead and make a pink box this time. Not pink, of course not pink. We're going to use Flirty Flamingo because that is another color that goes well with the color scheme of the paper. Okay, let me show you some things in the catalog of what the products I will be using today. Okay, this page is in the mini catalog on page 48, and this is the Timeless Tulips Stamp Set, and that is a photopolymer set, and we're going to be using that today. And we're also going to be using the Tulip Builder Punch that goes along with the set. So you can stamp images. These two images that you can stamp, you can then cut out using the punch. And I love punches because they're quick and you can get it done really in a nice, quick manner. So that's what we're going to use. And then I did want to show you, we're also going to be using some of the paper from the Pleased as Punch designer series paper stack, and this is an amazing spring cardstock or DSP stack. And the one specifically that we're going to be using today, we're going to be using the gorgeous little tulips. So the punch that I showed you, here it is right here in the flesh, this can also punch out the images on the designer series paper as well as the images that you stamp. So it's a great option, gives you a little more extra oomph with your punches and stamps. So I'm going to go ahead and get those things out of the way. If you have any questions about any of the materials we'll be using, please send me a message. I'll be glad to help. If you need a catalog, please send me a message and I'll be glad to get one to you. All right, let's get started. We're going to be using the Flirty Flamingo today. This one I made here I use the Mango Melody, which is just a gorgeous color. It's a little bit of a light orange with a little bit of yellow in it, just a really, really pretty Easter color. And then this one, I use the Highland Heather. And that goes without saying that that's a perfect Easter color. So today we're going to go ahead and shift gears a little bit, and we're going to make one using the Flirty Flamingo. Okay, the piece of Flirty Flamingo, the size you're going to need is 5 1/4 by 11. Okay, so this piece is 5 1/4 by 11. Okay, I'm going to bring up my scoring board. If you like making 3D items as much as I do, you know how invaluable this scoring board is. And this is available on my online store. It's a fabulous Stampin' Up! Product. All right, now let's take a look on let's do short side first. Okay, on the short side, which is the 5 1/4 inch side, I'm gonna score at 1 inch on both sides. So I'm gonna score 1 inch, I'm gonna spin it around and score 1 inch again. So all I did here was make the 2 side flaps that are gonna fold in. Let's see if you can see that. It's sometimes hard. There we go. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put it on the long side. And I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to score at 5 and 6. All right, 5 and 6. Then I'm going to go back and do some partial scores at 1 and at 10. You notice I am making these little boxes or squares on the end of my cardstock. I'm going to spin it around and do the same thing again. 1 and 10. Okay, and that's all the scoring that I'm going to need to do. All right, so you can see on my piece of cardstock here, I've got 4 squares that I've created on the corners. Okay, and those are what we're going to first cut out. Okay, so before we even start anything else with creasing our score lines, we're going to cut out all 4 of these little corner squares. They're just inch by inch squares, and we're going to need to do that because we're going to be making the rounded handles, and these sections will not be necessary. Okay, there we go. Got those 4 off. So that's our first step. Okay, now I'm going to bring in my template that I already cut so you can see what it's going to eventually look like. All right, this is what the finished piece of cardstock will look like before we go ahead and make the handles and put it together. So all we really need to do here is we're going to cut up on those vertical score lines in the center there, and then we're going to make a little tab. Okay, because these 2 sections here are going to be the sides of the box, the side panels, and then this is going to be the tab that holds them together. Okay, let's turn it on the other side, and we're going to do the same thing. Cut up on the vertical score line, and then we're going to go ahead and cut little wedges out to make our tab. Okay, and that is actually all the cutting we need to do. All right, so let's go ahead. I'll put that one over here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get my bone folder. And I'm going to go ahead and crease all my score lines that I made. Okay, bone folder is a great tool to have in your craft room for making 3D projects. It takes that score line that you made and creases it very nicely so all those boxes will come together very nicely. So that's it. That is the box. Okay, now the only thing we have left to do here is we have to make our rounded handles. You see how I made those on this one? Okay, so you have to make the rounded handles before we glue it all together. All right, let me show you how we did that. I used some dies to cut the handle. Okay, these are the stitched shaped dies. And I used 2 out of the ovals. I used the largest oval and I used the smallest oval. If I can get it off, that would be great. These magnets work well. All right, so those are the two I'm going to use. These stitch shapes are great to have and very necessary when you're making cards and also 3D projects. So those are called the stitched shaped framelits. Hi Donna, welcome. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make our rounded handles. And this is a lot easier than it looks. I'm going to have to bring in my Big Shot. Let me bring my dies over here. Okay, I'm going to bring in my Big Shot here. And what you're going to do is you're going to put one side of your paper, okay, on here and let it go back and under, okay, and stick off a little bit off the platform to the back. Then you're going to take your large oval. Make sure you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to cut this section here into an oval. Using the oval, I'm not going to cut it into an oval. I'm just going to round the corners off. And let me show you how I do that. I'm going to bring this up so that the corners, you want the top of the oval die on your paper, and then you want to just kind of measure it so that it's in the center. Now this is the tip that you got to remember. You don't want to cut the whole oval out of your bag because then that will not look so good. You're going to bring in your layer here, your sandwich layer, acrylic layer, and then you're going to go ahead and you're just going to line it up so that it stops right at the top of the bag. Okay, so you don't want your acrylic layer on top of that part of your oval, or that will also stick. I mean, it'll also cut. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to feed it through carefully. Okay, here we go. Bring it back. It slipped a bit. There we go. Bring it back. Slipped a bit. All right. Live TV, this is what you get sometimes, folks. All right. Let me try again. I'm holding it with the wrong hand. That's probably not helping. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to kind of pull it through until it gets caught. There we go. That didn't work. I'm going to bring it through again. Oh dear, I did do this a couple of times very easily. So let me try again. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put it on like this. All right, my line is right along the top of the bag. I'm going to push it through. Keep slipping. Come on, Barb, you can do this. Okay, there we go. All right, I think we finally did it. Okay, it isn't as hard as I made it look. So here we go. And there is your first top. Okay, now let me do the second one. I promise I won't mess up so badly. Okay, here we go. We're going to do the second side. Same thing. Okay. Hi, Diane. Hope you're doing all right up there in Maine. All quarantined and everything like us here in PA. All right, so there. I put it over that. Now remember, we don't want to cover any of the oval that's on the body of the bag or it will cut that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this here like that again. Put it through. There we go. Much better that time. Only took one time. See, I'm not too crazy. All right, so there we have it. That's how you make your little... Isn't that cute? I was holding that too high, sorry. Okay, so before we put the Big Shot away, we've got to take the small oval now, and we're going to put that up inside on the body of the bag and just kind of make the handle. Okay, so then I'm going to just put my, go through, we're rocking in here. Did anybody hear that Stampin' Up, they had a earthquake in Salt Lake City last week? And it's like, what else is going to happen to those poor people? So I was wondering if anybody else had heard about that. How awful. All right. No earthquake here in Pennsylvania, just crazy Barb using the Big Shot. All right, so there we are. We've got both our ends. How easy that is. All right, let me go ahead and take away the Big Shot. Let me put that down here. Okay, remember it was the largest and the smallest oval of the stitched shape dies. All right, let's put those away. Now, we're ready to go ahead and assemble. So the first thing I'm gonna do is, I want this to be my front, okay? So I'm gonna put the glue on the back of those panels because I want the panels to be kind of going away so that we have that nice fold in the front. And of course, that's not gonna work. Let's try this glue. Come on, glue. There we go. All right, here we go. Okay, and then I'm gonna put a little bit here on the tabs, okay? This is the back of my box. I'm gonna swing that up first and adhere the tabs to the bottom. This is the back of the box. And that's gonna be adhered first to the tabs on the bottom. Okay. Then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna close the box and then bring those two other flaps down the front. Okay, I'm gonna get my bone folder and I'm gonna line this up and then give it a little bit of pressure. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so then you have your folds here and the panels go to the back so that you can't see those at the ends of the cardstock there. So that is kind of the base of my project, how easy that box is to put together. And I just love that little handle effect. So it's really worth a try. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is we're going to put on a piece of designer series paper. This is cut at 3 by 3 1/4. And this is the Flirty Flamingo. This is the designer series paper, the Brights set. You can get this paper, if you look in your catalog, it's in the back. Let me show you. If you go to your catalog where the designer series paper is, you can see following all the other gorgeous paper here. There's some in back here before the cards and envelopes. It's called the In Color Designer Series paper. And then it has all the different categories, neutrals, brights, subtles, regals. And you can get 6 by 6 pieces in 4 different designs of each of the colors in that category. And I got the brights, and that's how I got this adorable little piece of Flirty Flamingo gingham. And I thought that went fine with this. And I did the same thing with these other 2 boxes. This was the Highland Heather gingham, and this was the Mango Melody gingham. Okay, I just think gingham's great for spring. All right, let's go ahead and put that on the front. Oh, and I just put it on the wrong side. We're going to go with this design. Okay, I put my glue on the gingham side, but I like that one just as much. All right, that's one of the other designs that's there. All right, well, let's get started on what we're gonna make on the front. The first thing, let's bring out one of my other ones here. We're gonna cut out some of those cute little tulips. Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I think I'm gonna cut out the purple and the Mango Melody one, not purple, Highland Heather. And we're gonna go ahead, this is right from the designer series paper. So I'm just gonna cut using the punch. There's my first. Let me cut off a little bit of this here. And I'll cut out the second one here. There we go. Get it right in the spot you need it. Let me see if I have a piece of, yep. Sometimes it gets a little tricky and you might need to use a little bit of a, something to help you get it in there because your fingers can't get in close enough. So if you use a Post-it, that helps a lot. There we go. All right, there's our two gorgeous tulips. All right. I'm going to go ahead and using my dimensionals, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put those on right away because they are really going to kind of dictate how my little leaves and stems are going to go. All right, so let's go ahead and let's put this one on right here. Just want to kind of put it the same way as I did with the other ones because that gives plenty of room to our stems underneath. Okay, so there's our two flowers. Now you say, where did you get those stems? Well, all I did for the stems, I took a strip of Whisper White cardstock, and I took my Granny Apple Green, and then I took the stem image from the Timeless Tulips set, and I stamped that twice. Oops, a little better than that though. Let's turn it over. I stamped it twice on my cardstock. Let's turn it this way so I can actually see it. My camera, you have to kind of stamp away from you so that your head isn't in the way because you don't want to see that. And sometimes it's a little tricky. All right, so there's my two stems. And then I'm going to keep out my Granny Apple Green, and I need two leaves. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp those right next to it. All right, so that's all the stamping you're going to need for that. And while I've got this color out, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp my sentiment, which is a thank you. But you can put Happy Easter, you can put Happy Birthday, you can put Happy Spring, whatever you like. Okay, so there's that. And that's all the stamping we need to do. So put that away. All right, now for the two stems, you're going to have to do a little bit of fussy cutting. I know that's not always what we like to do, but it's not very intricate and it won't take you too long. So I'm going to fussy cut out both of these stems. And then with the leaves, I can use the punch again because the punch has can punch out the tulips and the leaves. So I will get to punch again. So don't worry, we won't do too much of this. All right, there's one of my stems, and here's another one. And I put the tulips on first because I had tried putting the stems on first and I just didn't get it spaced quite as well. So I just felt like getting the flowers on where you want them first, and then you can do your stems later. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to put a little bit of Tombow on the back of the stems. Really, really don't need a lot. And then if you look here, I have it that it comes off a little bit. So I'm going to cut this one a little bit. I can already tell I need to cut it. All right, so I'm going to stick it up there, and then it's going to come down here. All right, so there's one of my stems. They're going to crisscross each other. So this one's going to go like this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut him a little bit off the top as well. The other one I'd seen done, they had them like stuck on the front, and I just thought I'd like to get the stems involved in there, and then I could put a little bow on those. So then I'm going to crisscross the stems and then adhere those carefully down. Okay, now, like I said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get out the punch again, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to punch out these images. Let me go ahead and cut them from the paper. Okay, so this one is going to go, you just slip it right in here. And it's a little too long. Sometimes you have to adjust and cut off the ends. There, that's better. Now we can bring him in. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to punch out that leaf. And then we're going to punch out the final leaf. Okay, there's also leaves, remember, on the designer series paper, if you have the Pleased as Punch, that you can punch out of there as well. So it's up to you if you want to stamp them or if you just want to cut them right out of the DSP. All right, there's our 2 leaves. Okay, now what I did with these, I kind of rolled them a bit or curled them a bit so that they had a little bit of dimension on them. And then I went ahead and I got out my Tombow and I stuck them about where the 2 stems crossed, but it's up to you wherever you'd like to put them. Then I did the same thing to the other. I curled the end a bit, put a dot of glue on the bottom, and stuck it right there. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut my banner. I'm going to cut this a little shorter. And then how I cut my banner is I cut in from the top, from the middle, and then I cut to that end point from each of the corners, and that makes your little banner. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put that on using dimensionals. Hi, Stacy. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Hope you're getting some crafting in today. All right, and then I'm going to just put him right here at the bottom of my box. So cute. All right, we have one thing left to do. We can make it here, girls. All right, I'm going to be using one of my favorites. This is the crinkled seam binding ribbon, and this is in Whisper White. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little piece of it, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a bow. This stuff is very, very forgiving, very easy to tie, and I love it. I love it. I have it also in the crushed curry, and I love that too. I just like this ribbon. I think it's just very natural and goes really well with the flowers and the other nature type things. All right, then you can fiddle around with your bow a little bit. Thank goodness, because that was a real mess when I tied it. All right, that's looking better. You want to have your loops about the same size. That looks good. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut my tails a little bit. All right, last thing is I'm going to go ahead and get some glue dots. Glue dots, glue dots. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to get my roll of glue dots, and there's a glue dot. I'm going to just go ahead and stick my bow right on there, right where it's knotted. Then I'm going to grab my pick tool, take it off, and then I put this just above where the flowers were. I mean, the leaves were, but you can really choose wherever you like. Okay, so there it is. I think I might cut my tails a little bit more. There we go. I like them a little shorter than that. And there it is. There's your box. It's really, really easy. Let me go ahead and measure the size, give you an idea of what you could put inside. It's about 3¼ inches wide, and then the side is 1 inch, and then the height is about 5 inches. So it's a good size box. You can kind of see down in there. I think gift card would be great. Anything. I mean, anything can fit in there. Something to give to friends and family that you're thinking about, but you can't really give a hug right now. These would be great to drop off at their house. So if you have any questions about any of the items I used today in the project, please let me know. I'd be glad to help you with any of that. And my next Facebook Live is going to be on Tuesday, and we're going to have a double feature that day. We're going to continue with the Timeless Tulips, and we're going to go ahead and make this adorable little stand-up box. Okay, I just love the granny apple green and the, what color is that? The pink. Oh dear, I can never think of it. And this is the lighter pink that I used here, Blushing Bride. And then we're going to go ahead and make this card too. I love this combination of colors too. This is the Mango Melody and the Pear Pizzazz. And I made a Mother's Day card. So that's something that would be useful. So go ahead and have a great day. And join me again on Tuesday. It will be Tuesday evening around 8:30, and I'll make sure I put up a little bit of a reminder on Tuesday, and you can come join me. So thanks for joining me out there, everyone, and have a great day. And we will see you on Tuesday. Thanks. Bye-bye.